Ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Beautiful Friday evening here in Lagos. Good evening and welcome to CoreTV's Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, Supreme Court reinstates impeached Deputy Governor of Taraba State, Sonny Danladi, as acting governor. Also in this program, Senate President David Mark forgives lawmaker who assaulted him when police invaded National Assembly complex on Thursday. And Nigeria's military describes exploits of hunters and the ongoing war against Boko Haram as deliberately misrepresented to ridicule soldiers in the line of duty. Outside Nigeria, stadium stampede at a religious crusade in Zimbabwe claims 11 lives. Thanks for joining us again. We'll begin in Taraba State, where the Supreme Court has ordered that the impeached Deputy Governor of the state, Sonny Danladi, be sworn in as acting governor. He is now to replace Garba Umar, who has been acting governor since the then governor Damba Basuntai was injured in a plane crash in 2012. Danladi, who was Suntai's first deputy, was impeached by the State House of Assembly about a month before the crash. But the Apex Court ruled that the impeachment panel set up by the House of Assembly to investigate allegations against him violated his right to fair hearing.
It's just over 2 years that Sonny Danladi was impeached on grounds of gross misconduct, but now he's set to return to a higher office. The Supreme Court not only set aside his impeachment, it also ruled that the Taraba State High Court and the Appeal Court erred by not granting him fair hearing. So, beaming with smiles, he was clearly happy but not prepared to speak, at least for now.
I can't say anything for now.
It's for another time, please, not for now.
Yeah,
not for now.
His lawyer was full of praises for the judiciary, while the other party nursed their wounds.
Our reaction is very simple. That it was a terribly bitter experience, particularly at the tribunal. But we thank Almighty God that we have Supreme Court, and I've always said so in all my lectures, that without Supreme Court, politicians would have since destroyed this country. This is the only arm of the government that is protecting democracy.
Clear. And when issue of fair hearing is raised, there is no shortcut to it. Everybody is to abide by the judgment of the court. It's well delivered.
And now that the reinstated deputy governor is set to occupy a higher position, the lawyers have a slightly different position on the implication of the court ruling.
The law is very simple. It means that one had never been a deputy governor or acting governor at all. And so all the salaries and everything has collected, all the contracts he has awarded are illegal. And the state must ensure that they are returned to the state.
The court said he should be returned as deputy governor. Okay. Now there is a sitting governor, and you know how the governor got there. That is another dimension to the case. Until we get to the bridge, then we know how to cross it. But the judgment of the court is very, very clear. They said the man was wrongly removed and he should return as deputy governor.
For now, allies of the man who was impeached a few weeks before the then governor Damba Basuntai had a plane crash can afford to celebrate. This is because he left office practically in disgrace, but is returning as acting governor.
The police high command says the All Progressives Congress plans to invade INEC and the presidential villa with hoodlums and political thugs. It also revealed that 7 suspects are in custody over the rowdy scene that took place at the National Assembly complex on Thursday. Speaking at the press briefing in Abuja, police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu insisted that the police action at the legislative complex was based on an intelligence report of an invasion similar to what happened when some people recently barricaded the force headquarters.
We had Governor Rotimi Amechi say that if they don't win the 2015 elections, they will form a parallel government. We heard that. We also heard that they are storming the force headquarters was just the first step. That subsequently they will invade the INEC, National Assembly, and lastly, the presidential villa. So following that intelligence that followed from it, the police began to monitor the activities of these political actors. So it's a Thursday, the 20th of November. We had credible intelligence that there will be mayhem at the premises of National Assembly. And it is our duty to protect lives and property. And so the police mobilized to check entrance and exit for a National Assembly. Both chambers were cordoned and adequate police and logistics deployed to protect life and property. We all know National Assembly is a national asset. It's a national heritage. We won't allow hoodlums that tried to attack force headquarters the day before to have access to such priceless edifice.
Senate President David Mark has admitted that he was assaulted by a member of the House of Representatives when he attempted to intervene in the crisis that followed the police invasion of the National Assembly. He, however, said he had forgiven the lawmaker who has since been identified as Abdulmalik Cheche, a PDP member from Niger State. Mark added in a statement that both the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, and the Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu had already pleaded with him on behalf of the lawmaker over his unruly behavior. He described his experience in the hands of the lawmaker as a prize and sacrifice for leadership. Providing an insight into what transpired inside the lower chamber, Mark said his visit to the chamber was to ascertain the safety of Tambuwal and his colleagues, having received reports that canisters of tear gas were targeted at them. He insisted that his intention was to safeguard the sanctity of the hallowed chamber, as well as confer with the Speaker on the need to suspend plenary in both chambers in order to restore sanity to an environment that had turned restive and becoming uncontrollable. Now, the People's Democratic Party is demanding a full inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the shutdown of legislative activities in the National Assembly. It wants Inspector General of Police Sulaiman Abba to unravel the facts behind the chaotic scenes within the next 72 hours. PDP spokesman Olisa Metu said in a statement that the matter should not be shrouded in controversy, sinister plots and mundane accusations because of the sanctity of the legislature. It, however, does not think the police went beyond its bounds by seeking to prevent a breach of security at the complex. The army authorities have denied claims that soldiers who died fighting Boko Haram insurgents are being buried in mass graves. Army spokesman Brigadier General Olajide Olaleye told newsmen in Abuja that the allegations were meant to dent the image of the military and dampen the morale of troops. He insisted that soldiers who die in the line of duty are laid to rest with full military honors.
Buried in mass graves. Well, I would like to say that it is absolutely not true. It is absolutely not true. The Nigerian Army has cemeteries all over the country. And not only does it have cemeteries all over the country, the Nigerian Army has laid down procedures. The Nigerian Army has laid down procedures for burying its own. there is no soldier that will be buried anywhere in this country whereby his or her next of kin will not be informed. It is not possible. The Nigerian army does not bury soldiers unless the next of kin have been informed. So to that effect, when the next of kin is informed, it means that the authority to bury such soldiers has been obtained from the next of kin. And I'm sure all of you know that some of the best well-kept cemeteries in the Federation are owned by the Nigerian Army. Therefore, the soldiers that have unfortunately paid the supreme price in our war against insurgency in the Northeast are buried with all respect, with all due military process and procedure. They are given the appropriate regimental burial.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's military says the exploits of hunters and the ongoing war against insurgency is being deliberately misrepresented to ridicule soldiers in the line of duty. It, however, admits that the hunters have been supporting the troops in the ongoing onslaught against Boko Haram. Defense Headquarters said in a statement on its website that claims that hunters liberated some communities are part of a mischievous campaign to disparage the professional efforts at containing the terrorists, especially in Adamawa. It, however, noted that the result of the military efforts will soon manifest for the whole world to see. Well, CoreTV News has come across the celebrated head of local hunters in Gombe local government area of Adamawa State. His name is Yakubu Ali. Ali led the team of local hunters that dislodged Boko Haram members from Mubi and Maha local government areas of Adamawa State, killing scores of the insurgents. The head of the hunters, who said he is not known to appear in public, says he decided to do so in order to deny news making rounds that he had been captured or killed by the insurgents.
Ni sarkin bakan Gombe ba wanda ya kama ni, ina gida ina zaune a bina. Kuma ni ma ina ji dai ana jite-jite, ina ji an kama ni nace bari in zo in bayyana kaina, shine na fito.
He added that all the local hunters under his command are safe and well and admonished the public to desist from spreading false information.
Suna nan da suna lafiyansu kalau ba wanda ya kama dukkanmu. A bar yada jite-jite ba da amfani.
War of words continue over Ekiti lawmakers' row. Find out more after this time out. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, here's a quick reminder of some other headline stars. Supreme Court reinstates impeached Deputy Governor of Taraba State, Sani Danladi, as acting governor. Senate President David Mack forgives lawmaker who assaulted him when police invaded National Assembly complex on Thursday. Nigeria's military describes exploits of hunters and the ongoing war against Boko Haram as deliberately misrepresented to ridicule soldiers in the line of duty. You can also get all of our news stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We're streaming live on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space and news. Moving on now on the news tonight, Special Advisor to the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose on Information and New Media, Liri Olayinka, who visited CoreTV News on Friday, says APC lawmakers in the State House of Assembly are only raising a false alarm. He says lawmakers have abandoned their works and wondered why they now feel unsafe at the sight of the police.
On June 21 this year, an election was conducted. Fayose won overwhelmingly, including the local government of the former governor, Fayemi. Fayemi could not win a single local government. After winning that election, what did the APC people do? They sponsored a court case against the governor, and they were seeking for an injunction restraining the Fayose from assuming office. When it became obvious that they were not going to get that court order in Ekiti, they went to Abuja. They filed a case using an unregistered political party, Young Democratic Party, seeking an injunction restraining the Chief Judge of Ekiti State, Justice Ayodele Jidaramola, from swearing in Fayose as a governor. When the Abuja one did not fly, they ran to Lagos to file a case, another case again, seeking the same injunction. As at the morning of October 16 this year, when Fayose was being sworn in, the APC people were still sure that a court order will come from Lagos and stop Fayose swearing. And that was the reason Omini did not attend the inauguration, because he was actually prepared to be sworn in as the acting governor. When that failed, the next thing was for them to apply their plan B, and the plan B is use the House of Assembly to frustrate the government.
Larry Olayinka, Special Advisor to the Ekiti State Governor on Information and New Media, was with us earlier on CoreTV News on the hour. Arawa Consultative Forum, SCF, wants the National Assembly to reject President Goodluck Jonathan's request for another extension of emergency rule in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states. The National Publicity Secretary of the Forum, Mohammed Ibrahim, said in a statement issued in Kaduna that emergency rule is now a routine exercise and not a solution to the insurgency ravaging the region. According to the Northern Nigerian Group, it's worrisome that the federal government does not appear to have better solutions to ending the menace. It noted that emergency rule has provided the insurgents more opportunity to seize territories without any appreciable resistance from the military. A Yola-based legal practitioner, Zubero Koloni, says the inability of the National Assembly to approve the president's request for the extension of state of emergency in the 3 northeastern states means that governors of the affected states will assume their security responsibilities.
Section 305, sub 6 and paragraph B spelled out. That is where the National Assembly, that is consists of the House of Reps and the Senate. That is, if the National Assembly is in session, or if they are not in session, 10 days is required by the Constitution for the National Assembly to convene and pass a resolution. If 2/3 of the members, that is, if the resolution cannot be passed by 2/3, automatically the state of emergency has now ceased. That is, from there, they have not approved the request made by His Excellency, that is the President, for the National Assembly to approve. Because state of emergency, the President can just proclaim it. Okay, then subsequently will send to the National Assembly for approval. Now, if the National Assembly, after extension from 6 months, now they refuse to pass or to approve for the President, 2/3 has not been obtained, then automatically go based on section 305 sub 6 paragraph B I have just mentioned, then there is no state of emergency. That is, the state governors should take security control of their respective states.
He added that the Constitution has not provided for the President to bypass the National Assembly in extending the state of emergency as suggested by some people.
The provision of the Constitution has stated it clearly under Section 305. There is no way that the President the Constitution has not provided that. Now, an attempt by the President to do so, it can be termed as unconstitutional. Now, you look at it, the action of the President must be guided by the provision of the Constitution.
Bayelsa State Governor Siraka Dixon has dismissed suggestions of a feud with President Goodluck Jonathan over party affairs in the state. Speaking with State House correspondents on the sidelines of the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja, the governor insisted that there is peace in the state.
Kings and leaders, rulers, to felicitate with Mr. President and his family, even though we know he doesn't normally celebrate birthdays. But we thought this is an opportunity to solidarize with him and let him know that we, his people, are there for him. And also, I gave a report that Bayelsa is on course, Bayelsa is moving, Bayelsa is on track, Bayelsa is united, Bayelsa is stable, Bayelsa is at peace with itself and at peace with the rest of our country. We are grateful to Nigerians. We are at peace with the rest of the world. And we hope the best. We wish the best for Mr. President. We wish the best for our country. And we wish, of course, the best for Bayelsa.
The former Minister of State for Defense, Musiliu Obanikoro, has made his intention known to govern Lagos State on the platform of the PDP. Obanikoro, who boasted of possessing the right qualification to lead the state, made the declaration on Friday at the Lagos PDP Secretariat. Oluwaseyi Adegoke has the details.
I stand before you today to formally announce my interest in becoming the candidate of our party for the 2015 general governorship election.
The People's Democratic Party Secretariat was agog as party faithful, families and friends of Musiliu Obanikoro joined him as he made his intention known to vie for the governorship of Lagos State, claiming his experience is a good platform to do a good job of leading the state.
A state that I have had the singular opportunity to serve as a director, as a chairman of a local government, as a commissioner, as a senator, as a and I've equally enjoyed rare privilege of serving this great country of ours as a minister, as a chairman of a board, Nigeria Industrial Trust Fund, and as an ambassador of our great country to the Republic of Ghana. This array of exposures and experiences has come with a price that only a man who has passion for service can continue to endure and continue to challenge himself to do more.
Obanikoro says, contrary to some people's opinion, he is a man of peace.
Some people have said so many things about me, negative ones indeed. Some have said Koro is a thug. Koro is a promoter of violence. I'm not any of this. I cannot be a thug. I'm a father who have raised children who have also right now distinguished themselves in what they are doing. A thug doesn't do that.
Chairman of the party, Tunji Shele, says all aspirants under the party will be given a level playing field to make a change in Lagos.
I want to say that he is eminently qualified. He has the profile, he has the pedigree, and I've assured him that we shall give every aspirant a level playing ground. A lot has happened in the last 16 years of APC governance in Lagos State, PDP is the alternative.
As the 2015 general elections draw closer, the people of Lagos are eager to know who will eventually occupy the Lagos House come 2015. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Lagos State Governor Babátúndé Fáṣọlá has now queried the inability of states to appoint the number of required judges without the approval of the National Judicial Commission. Fáṣọlá said that these are the swearing-in of 4 newly appointed judges of the State High Court. Abiola Oluwole brought back this report presented from our studios. The appointment of the new judges follows the constitutional provision and recommendation of the National Judicial Council to the state governor. Speaking after the swearing-in of the 4 judges, Fáṣọlá charged them to shun any act capable of bringing their office to disrepute. He, however, lamented the limitation on the number of High Court judges state government can appoint by the National Judicial Council.
There will never be a perfect constitution, but there must be men and women who must be very, very flexible about how these provisions are applied in order to achieve the ultimate purpose, access to justice. Is access to justice served by limiting the number of judges that a state with a growing population can appoint?
The Chief Judge of the state, Oluwafunmilayo Atilade, says the appointment will further enable the State High Court to cope with the high volume of cases it has.
I therefore urge you all to live up to your calling and be faithful and true to the sacred oaths you are about to be administered today, as you'll be made accountable should your conduct or reputation fall short of what is expected of such a high office.
The new judges include Serifat Sunaike, Iyabo Akinkugbe, Jubril Bashua, and Abdulfatah Lawal. Iyabo Akinkugbe, who spoke on behalf of the newly appointed judges, promised to be diligent in the discharge of their duties. With the newly appointed judges, the Lagos State High Court now has 54 judges. Former Governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, has admonished Nigerians, especially government officials, to stop wasteful expenditure. He gave the advice at a one-day National Peace Conference organized by the Save Nigeria Group in Abuja. Obi also made a case for peaceful coexistence among the citizenry.
Especially those of you who are here, have taken time to ask how your local government, how your state is being governed, the excellence in governing the state. Like I said, that somebody asked me yesterday, I said, you can go to Bank of Fidelity Bank. If you don't know what I left, at least that, as I yesterday, I told you, I still have, which I left, $60 million there. I said, if you go to Diamond Bank at $50 million, and if you go to Access Bank at $15 million, so it's about 30 billion naira. So that's just one aspect of what we say. We didn't do anything, we collapsed the cost of governance. That's all. We did not change anything. Everything was the same thing. Except that people wanted me to come to Abuja from Waka and have a governor's lodge in Abuja. And I said, the governor doesn't live in Abuja, so I leave down the house. Because we don't live here. What we waste, we go through here, serving people, what people do and everything. And when you put them together, you find out that we have a great place. Ask those who want to borrow money from your state, what are they borrowing it for? What are they using it to do? You can stop it, you can just help. Ask the local government chairman. Don't celebrate with them. This is the only country where we vote people in. They have no car, they have no house. 6 months after, they invite us for Thanksgiving with 20 cars and vans. Why are we thanking them when we should call police? Because we know what will happen to our money. They are thanking them. So when we talk about peace, anybody is going to do it. Nobody. You must change it.
You're on to CoreTV's Primetime News. We'll take a break now and we'll return with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former student.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome to Business News. Now, Nigerians may have to pay more taxes and levies now that the oil prices are on a downward trend. This is because the National Economic Council is seeking a speedy completion of work on the proposed amendment to the Act on the harmonization of taxes and levies across the Federation. The Council is also moving to review value-added tax, VAT, and has directed the Inspector General of Police to enforce its directive on dismantling roadblocks for revenue collection.
One of the National Economic Council directives and resolution is that 6 Attorney Generals of the Federation in each geopolitical zones representing 6 geopolitical zones should be invited for a meeting to review the proposed amendment to the Act. The following 6 Attorney Generals were therefore nominated by the Council for the assignment. Attorney General of Bayelsa for the South-South, Attorney General of Enugu State for Southeast, Attorney General of Borno for Northeast, Attorney General of Lagos State for the Southwest, Attorney General of Kebbi State for the Northwest, and Attorney General of Plateau State for the North Central. Resolutions. Council approved the need for the Inspector General of Police to enforce the directive of the dismantling the roadblocks for revenue collection on the highway across the Federation. National Economic Council directed the Federal Minister of Finance, Federal Inland Revenue Services, Joint Tax Board, and Office of the Attorney General of the Federation to commence the process of amending the VAT Act with the emphasis on the review of the rates.
The Naira shed 0.76% on Friday to close at 176 Naira against the dollar, despite the central bank intervening for a 5th straight day, with dollar sales trying to drop up the currency. The Naira has witnessed sharp depreciation at the parallel market in the last 1 week. The Naira fell from 169 Naira to 172 Naira and then to 174 Naira. The naira fell further by 1.25% on Thursday to close at 176 naira 10 kobo to a dollar. Recalling the CBN had, in a bid to preserve the external reserves a few weeks ago, barred importers of electronics and generators from buying dollars at the central bank's official forex market called Retail Dutch Auction System. The CBN referred the importers to the interbank forex market for dollars. But even at that, analysts are optimistic that the naira will close at 170 naira before the end of the year. Foreign portfolio investment FPI transactions, which recorded its highest flows for the year in September, has now decreased to 153.28 billion naira in October 2014, down by 32.38% from September 2014. In comparison to FPI transactions, domestic transactions decreased from 56.64% to 12.46%, whilst FPI transactions increased significantly from 43.36% to 87.54%. Total transactions decreased by 3.78% from 181.97 billion naira in January to 175.10 billion naira in October, and foreign portfolio investors' inflows accounted for 29.73% of total transactions, while the outflows accounted for 57.81% of the total transactions in October 2014. It's time now to join Sabena Izoku for today's stock market report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report with me, Sabena Izoku. Equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All Shares Index appreciated by 1.49% to close at 33,926.18 basis points. Market capitalization increased to close at 11.24 trillion naira. In all, a total of 399 million units of shares valued at 2.5 billion naira were exchanged in 4,007 deals. Dangote Cement topped the gainers chart to close at 189 with a difference of 9 naira, followed by Okomo Oil, Ashaka Cement, and Wapco and Owendo. On the downside, Seplat Oil topped the losers chart, followed by Mobil, Flour Mill, Forty Oil, and Cadbury PLC. Meanwhile, ICO Insurance topped the traders chart, followed by Sterling Bank, United Bank for Africa, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, and First City Merchant Bank. To wrap up the stock market report, this is the currency exchange rate for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Thank you, Sabina. We'll take a break now and I'll be back with updates and sports stories. Don't go away.
Der Torschütze zum zwischenzeitlichen 1:1. Semenike schickt Musa, da ist Ahmed Musa und da ist der Ausgleich.
It's a beautiful Saturday evening in the city of Lagos.
Off the turn, Phelps had it, but then Matsui kept going.
Finals. 5 to shoot. Leonard does.
Sports is concerned, and of course making a difference for all of us here from all our production crew. Thanks for watching that channel.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead and really.
And now to sports. Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi still wants to continue in his role despite missing out on qualification for next year's African Cup of Nations. Keshi believes sacking him would do nothing to reverse the downward trend the Eagles are currently experiencing, insisting the problems goes beyond him. Keshi, who has been working without a contract since the expiration of his last deal after the World Cup, admitted that failure to qualify for next year AFCON is failure on the spot. His agent, Ima Ado, was however silent on his client's future, but echoed Keshi's sentiment that the problem of the team goes beyond the coach. And after a series of football action during the week, attention will now be shifted to Taslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos, as both Federation Cup finalists, defending champions Eyimba International Football Club and Dolphins Football Club, play in the final of the 2014 Federation. The People's Elephant of Aba, who defeated Warri Wolves Football Club in 2013 final, won't want to finish the season without a trophy after they lost the league trophy to Kano Pillars in the Nigeria Professional Football League, while Dolphins will target a chance to secure a continental ticket. NPFL highest goal scorer Mfon Udo said the former African champions Eyimba will give their all to make sure that defend the Federation Cup trophy they won last year. And now to the English Premier League as it returns after the international break with some exciting fixtures. League leaders Chelsea will now host West Brom in Stamford Bridge. Everton takes on West Ham United, Leicester City versus Sunderland, while Swansea travels to the Etihad Stadium to take on defending champions Manchester City. In the other Saturday fixtures, relegation threatened Queen's Park Rangers will travel to St James Park to take on Newcastle United. Stoke play host to Burnley, while Arsenal will host Manchester City in the biggest fixture of the weekend. Indeed, it promises to be an interesting weekend for football lovers across the world. To round up the CoreTV's primetime news tonight, let's find out what stories made headline on this bulletin. We brought you the story the Supreme Court has reinstated impeached Deputy Governor of Taraba State Sonny Danladi as acting governor. We also reported that Senate President David Mark has forgiven lawmaker who assaulted him when police invaded National Assembly complex on Thursday. Nigeria's military has described exploits of hunters. The ongoing war against Boko Haram is deliberately misrepresented to ridicule soldiers in the line of duty. It's a wrap tonight on CoreTV's Primetime News. On behalf of the news crew here, I am Nifemi Ogutoye. Thanks for watching.